Payday 2 has quite a lot of heists. Over the 10-year life cycle of the game, we have seen many different, unique, good, and, well, not so good heists added to Payday 2. But the question on everyone's mind is, what is the best heist in Payday 2? Well, today, I will be answering that question. However, I'm just one man, one member of the Payday 2 community. I couldn't possibly make this video on my own. I'm gonna need some backup. On August 13th, 2023, I made this community post announcing that on August 18th, I will be needing your support on this matter. Now, at the time, the troops had no idea what I was cooking up. However, you guys still showed your overwhelming support as always and backed your boy up. So, the date was set and you guys waited patiently for the day to arrive. August 18th arrived. You guys were here and you were ready. It was time. So, ladies and gentlemen, and able to decide what is the best Payday 2 heist of all time, I put together this, the Payday 2 Heist Bracket Tournament. I randomly picked out one heist at a time to fill the bracket up. As you can see, a lot of time, effort, and budget was sunk into this, and this was how we were going to determine which is truly the greatest heist in Payday 2. Here's how it went down. Each round I will pit two heists against each other, and the incredible participants in the chat would vote for which heist is better. The heist with the most votes wins and moves into the next round, and the loser gets deleted. I did this for every single heist until we got down to the final two, and let's just say the results are spicy. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and get ready to say some unpleasant things in the comments if your favourite heist gets voted out. Let's start the tournament. So because there were so many entries to fit, I decided to split off some heists into what I call the prelims. Basically, all of these branches here. And once we were done with these, we'd move into the first round. Let the bracket commence.
Oh my god, it's time for the prelims.
First up, Art Gallery versus Border Crossing. Art Gallery completely destroyed Border Crossing. I personally think Border Crossing is a fun heist. However, the chat's word is final. Hotline Miami versus Brooklyn 1010. Two amazing heists in my opinion. However, the Shore legacy and iconicism of Hotline Miami came out on top. Shame to see Brooklyn go so early, but the game's the game. White Christmas versus Yacht Heist. Honestly, two pretty mediocre heists. However, Yacht Heist took the round. Car Shop versus Dragon Heist. Car Shop completely left Dragon Heist in the dust and sped off with the W here. White House versus Mall Crasher. Very fitting that this Vlad job came crashing out of the bracket early over the White House. San Martin Bank versus Mountain Master. San Martin gets a lot of love in my chat whenever I stream, and it shows here. However, I was quite surprised at how close this one actually was. Diamond Heist versus The Diamond. I'm just as shocked as you are. However, one of these two had to go home early, and unfortunately for you McKendrick Museum lovers, the Diamond got knocked out by the OG Diamond Heist. Jewelry Store versus 4 Stores. These two classics were put together in the prelims. They are both launch heists and hold a lot of nostalgia in our hearts. However, Jewelry Store wiped the floor with 4 Stores here. Bank Heist versus Cursed Kill Room. Bank Heist swept the floor with the Halloween event heist. Am I surprised? Not really. Scarface Mansion versus the Transport Truck heists. Honestly, I'm surprised that Transport got any votes at all. Scarface Mansion destroyed them. No Mercy versus Hell's Island. Hell's Island got sent straight to the hospital after this beatdown from No Mercy. The Biker Heist versus Aftershock. Two absolute stinkers in my opinion. However, I guess the chat would rather wait for a bike to be repaired rather than haul a bunch of Vlad safes around. Greenbridge versus Meltdown. This one was close. I feel like Greenbridge and Meltdown are two overhated heists in the community. However, Meltdown edges this round because And lastly, for the prelims, we have Goat Simulator versus Lost in Transit. This one was neck and neck, but ultimately, Goat Simulator came out on top. And that was the prelims done. Now we could really get into the bracket. So, let round 1 begin.
Round 1, fight!
Art Gallery versus Border Crystals. Art Gallery destroyed its bigger brother Border Crossing, and it did the exact same to Border Crystals. Panic Room versus Reservoir Dogs. Both great heists, but it seems that the chat would rather clear out a rooftop for 30 minutes while they waited for a helicopter then f**k around with some diamonds. Lab Rats versus Boiling Point. Whoever voted for Lab Rats deserves coal this Christmas. Thankfully, the majority of you were sane beings, and Boiling Point calmly breezed its way into the next round. Watch Dogs versus Birth of Sky. One of them is a memorable, action-packed thriller of a heist, and the other is Watch Dogs. Yeah, this wasn't surprising whatsoever. Cook-Off versus Hotline Miami. Once again, Hotline Miami completely blew Cook-Off out of the meth lab and calmly made its way into the next round. Hostile Takeover versus Safe House Raid. You guys once again let the crew handle it this time and allowed Hostile Takeover to make its way through. Slaughterhouse versus Yacht Heist. This one was very close. However, it seems that a lot of you would rather fight pigs amongst pigs than sneak around a yacht, throwing bags of money into the ocean. The Bomb Forests versus Henry's Cock. I mean Rock. Both of these heists absolutely suck. However, the Cock came in with the shock and moved up a block into the next round. I'm not a rapper, by the way. Ukrainian Prisoner versus Car Shop. This one was as neck and neck as it gets. However, Car Shop only just won this round. So fair play to Ukrainian Prisoner, you put up a good fight. Stealing Christmas versus Hoxton Breakout. One of these heists is an all-time classic.
The other is Stealing Christmas.
Hoxton Breakout didn't just steal Christmas, it broke into its house, stood on every present, knocked down the tree, and dashed out the living room window. Train Heist versus Murky Station. Both very fun stealth heists. However, it seems the chat wasn't in the mood to move 20 bags of ammo to the boat this time. Election Day versus Safe House Nightmare. Believe it or not, unlike the heist, this election wasn't rigged and won the vote by a landslide, unlike the next matchup. Framing Frames versus the White House. Another very close call. The chat were very mixed on this one, but the White House steals it over Framing Frames to move into the next round. Golden Grin Casino versus Crude Awakening. This just was not fair. Although Crude Awakening is a great heist in my opinion, it's matched up against Golden Grin, and for that, it met its end very quickly. San Martin versus Shadow Raid. Both of these heists are so damn fun in their own right. However, even though it started off strong, after all the votes were in, Shadow Raid came out superior. It's a harsh game. Ukrainian Job versus Big Bank. I'm shocked how over 20% of the votes went to Ukrainian Job, honestly. But of course, Big Bank goes through to the next round. Big Oil versus Diamond Heist. The love for the classics was strong in this stream, and the vote shows as Big Oil gets slapped out of the competition early. Breaking Feds versus Prison Nightmare. Both absolute stinkers. So much so that my stream completely crashed at this point. However, after a few technical tweaks, the stream was live again, and Breaking Feds was deemed the winner of that round. Rats versus Jewelry Store. This one turned out to be closer than I thought. However, with 60% of the votes, Rats was through to the next round. Great effort from Jewelry Store though. Nightclub versus Breakfast in Tijuana. Both very middle of the road heists. Nightclub took this one though. To be fair, it was very close. Black Cat versus Bank Heist. Although Black Cat is a great heist both loud and stealth, the chat's nostalgia took over with this one and put Bank Heist storming into the next round. Bullock's Mansion versus Counterfeit. I don't care much for either personally, both are fun in their own right. However, despite an early victory for Counterfeit, Bullock's Mansion came fighting back and just took the W over Counterfeit here. Alaskan Deal versus Scarface Mansion. I thought this would be a steamroll, but I stood corrected. Alaskan Deal lost. However, we had a lot of Alaskan lovers in chat. However, Scarface Mansion made it through to the next round. Hoxton Revenge versus First World Bank. Two absolute titans in my eyes. First World Bank was the one that started it off, however, and like I've mentioned many times, the chat's love for the classics came out strong here. First World Bank wins. Brooklyn Bank versus No Mercy. Both very fun loud heists in their own respects. This one turned out to be close, however Brooklyn Bank just nicked it. Dockyard versus the LSO heist. I'm personally a big fan of both of them, primarily in stealth. Sadly though, Dockyard takes the L here massively, and LSO tears the roof off and sweetly escapes into the next round. Beneath the Mountain versus the Biker Heist. I expected Beneath the Mountain to blast Biker Heist away, and I was correct. Biker Heist is just so much wasted potential. Heat Street versus Go Bank. I've said it so many times and I'll say it again. The classics got shown a lot of love this stream. I love Go Bank loud, stealth is tedious though. However, Heat Street is a blast every time I play it. Shacklethorne Auction versus Meltdown.
Ignore the typo here.
Sadly, my love for Forklift didn't stop the chat auctioning this heist off early. However, credit to Shacklethorne for being a blast to play, both loud and stealth. Midland Ranch versus Diamond Store. Now this one was quite an upset in my eyes. Midland Ranch is such a fun heist. It's engaging stealth and it's a blast loud. And it has golf carts. However, Diamond Store took the round. Hey, don't look at me. I let the chat do their thing, and these were the results. Firestarter versus Goat Simulator. Despite what others may think, I believe Goat Simulator to be a fun heist. Yeah, sure, Death Wish and Death Sentence are an absolute clusterfuck, but the heist as a whole is very fun. Although it is matched up against Firestarter, another classic, and despite a really good fight, Goat Simulator crashes out the competition, and Firestarter blazes through to the next round. Santa's Workshop versus Undercover. Yeah, Undercover wins. And with that, the first round is done, and the remaining contestants are left on screen. Have you agreed with the pick so far? No? Well, leave a comment down below and let your voice be heard. Anyways, let's not waste any more time, and let's start the second round.
Round 2. Fight!
Art Gallery versus Panic Room. Although Art Gallery was shown so much love throughout the entire tournament, now it was time to go, as Panic Room knocked it out to progress into the next round. Boiling Point versus Birth of Sky. Both absolutely fantastic heists. However, with Birth of Sky achieving the funny number in the amount of votes it received, that sent it through to the next round, cool as a cucumber, whereas Boiling Point couldn't handle the heat. Wait, what's that? Stop it with the shitty puns? No. I don't think I will. Hotline Miami versus Hostile Takeover. Once again, Hotline showing its dominance and completely destroying Hostile Takeover to make its way into the next round. Slaughterhouse versus Henry's Rock. Slaughterhouse came out fighting, and Slaughterhouse goes through to the next round because Henry's Rock sucks massive cock. Car Shop versus Hoxton Breakout. Car Shop had a great run so far, however it crashed out in this round versus a fan favourite in Hoxton Breakout. A valiant effort from Car Shop, Hoxton Breakout goes through. Murky Station versus Election Day. Both amazing heists to do in stealth. However, with the legacy that it holds, Election Day steals this vote and goes through to the next round. White House versus Golden Grin. Judging by this poll alone, I was starting to think that Golden Grin was going to be a favourite in this chat, and as time will tell, I would be correct. Shadow Raid versus Big Bang. Two absolute titans clashing. However, you guys put your money where your mouth is, and in this case, it was in the Benevolent. Diamond Heist versus Breaking Feds. Can we just put Breaking Feds out of its misery, please? Thank you. Jesus. Rats versus Nightclub. Nightclub had a great run, however, it was time to go home. Rats turned out to be too strong. Bank Heist versus Bulock's Mansion. This one was close. So close that the poll completely broke the YouTube chat from voting. However, once the chat resumed, I was actually able to end the poll, and Bank Heist came out on top. However, it was very, very close. Scarface Mansion versus First World Bank. Out of all the matchups so far, this one was my most anticipated matchup. I knew this was going to be close, and I was correct. So close, in fact, that for the first time in the stream, it turned out to be a tie. And at this point, I didn't really know how I could break the tie. So on that note, I took a break and I went to grab a coffee. And on my way, I bumped into none other than my father, LilGuyG. As I was pouring myself another drink, he tapped me on the shoulder and just said to me, Scarface Mansion. And that is how this tiebreaker was decided. But now, it was time to announce the decision to the chat. Here's how it went down. I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, that going through to the next round. Get over here! There! Brooklyn Bank versus the Alesso Heist. I knew this one was going to be a close one, but not this close. Sadly, it was time to say goodbye to Alesso. He couldn't keep his cool this competition and made his sweet escape. Beneath the Mountain versus Heat Street. Heat Street once again going strong this tournament. Beneath the Mountain takes its exit here and Heat Street goes through to the next round. Shacklethorne Auction versus Diamond Store. I was just as shocked as some of you guys watching right now as to how Diamond Store got so far. However, I don't blame them. Diamond Store holds a lot of weight with it being the first ever free heist added to the game post-launch. However, it is going up against arguably one of the best stealth heists in the game, and sadly, for Diamond Store, it was time to go. But what a run it went on. Well done. Firestarter versus Undercover. The elephant was taking up a little bit of space down here, so after quickly beheading him and replacing his eyeballs, and as the votes came flying in, I went to check up on a fellow Payday content creator, who is engulfed in the bottles of bubbly. Anyways, back to the voting. Out of these two legendary heists, Firestarter set Undercover ablaze in a very close vote. So hats off to Undercover, but Firestarter goes through to the next round. And then we came down to the last 16. So far, things were looking very interesting, and with a couple of jump scares from the lovely bold Brit, we were ready. Let's kick off the third round.
Round 3, fight!
Birth of Sky versus Panic Room. Despite its best efforts, Birth of Sky skydived its way into the next round with a very strong victory over Panic Room. Hotline Miami versus Slaughterhouse. So far, we came to learn that Hotline Miami was indeed a strong competitor, and this vote shows once again how so damn influential this heist really is. Hotline Miami sent this house to the slaughter and made its way to the next round. Hoxton Breakout versus Election Day. Although Election Day has had a lot of influence over the chat so far, it just wasn't enough versus the Breakout. Hats off to you though, Election Day, but Hoxton Breakout goes through to the next round. Golden Grin Casino versus the Big Bank. Easily the toughest matchup of the bracket so far, after the Scarface and First World Bank vote. I honestly expected this to be a close one, but I was proven wrong, as Golden Grin completely wiped the floor with Big Bank. What? I was super shocked here. However, the game's the game, and it was time to say goodbye to what is, in my opinion, a top 3 heist. Big Bank and Golden Grin made its way into the next round. Diamond Heist versus Rats. I adore Rats personally, 3 days of absolute madness and fun. However, as this stream proved, you guys once again showed so much love for Diamond Heist. It exterminated Rats with ease. Bank Heist versus Scarface Mansion. Although Bank Heist up to this point was shown a lot of love, Scarface Mansion's legacy and impression it's left on the community proved to be too strong for the Harvest and Trusty Bank. And just like that, it was time to say goodbye to a classic, and Scarface made its way through to the next round.
Brooklyn Bank versus Heat Street. Brooklyn Bank had been shown so much love up to this point. However, its time came to an end as Heat Street took this vote and went through to the next round.
Shacklethorn versus Firestarter. This one was so incredibly close. However, Firestarter came out victorious in this one to really make the auction cry. And then there were 8. We were getting closer and closer. These heists you see on screen are the creme de la creme of Payday 2, as voted by the audience. But we are not done yet. Let's get into the final 8. Birth of Sky versus Hotline Miami. Birth of Sky has been on an upwards dive so far. However, it was absolutely no match for Hotline Miami, and once again, it destroyed the competition, and it goes blazing through to the semi-finals. Diamond Heist versus Scarface Mansion. Scarface Mansion once again asserting its dominance by smashing the diamond. However, Diamond Heist made it so damn far. That's very commendable. Scarface Mansion will join Hotline Miami in the semi-finals. Heat Street versus Firestarter. Damn, this one was close. But by the skin of its teeth, Heat Street played with fire and got burnt big time and paid the ultimate price. A very close matchup, but Firestarter makes its way through to the semi-finals. Hoxton Breakout versus Golden Grin. I already knew there would be a lot of love for Golden Grin, but would it prevail over the legendary Hoxton Breakout? Absolutely yes, and in style. Golden Grin completely dominates once again and sends Hoxton Breakout back into lockup, and the casino makes its way into the semi-finals. This was it, the final 4. We have Hotline Miami, Scarface Mansion, Golden Grin, and Firestarter. Who will come out on top? Let's find out. Hotline Miami versus Scarface. It started out close. However, as we've come to discover throughout the stream, the love for Hotline Miami still came out strong, winning over 60% of the votes, which means Scarface Mansion goes into the losers bracket to fight for 3rd place, whereas Hotline Miami makes its way into the final. Golden Grin versus Firestarter. Total domination over Firestarter, but it is not over for Firestarter, as it will be fighting for 3rd place against Scarface Mansion. So, we had our finalists, but before we head into the final, we have 3rd place to fight for. Scarface Mansion versus Firestarter. Firestarter, the last remaining OG heist in the bracket. It did the other OGs proud, but coming out on top, taking 3rd place in this heist bracket, is Scarface Mansion, a very respectable position. And Firestarter comes out in 4th place, and was voted the chat's 4th favourite heist in Payday 2. But now, this was it. The entire 4-hour stream came down to this very moment. Everyone was on the edge of their seat, ready to vote. Hotline Miami versus Golden Grin Casino, fighting for the place as the best heist in Payday 2 history. I started the poll and let the chat do its thing. And when I tell you this was close, I'm talking it was back and forth. There were call for recounts. There were people still in denial about Ukrainian job being voted out. However, after a very long back and forth, we had our winner. Please put your hands together for the #1 best heist of all time, Hotline Miami. What an incredible journey this turned out to be. Although Golden Grin absolutely decimated everything in its path, it just was no match for the absolute giant that is Hotline Miami, and it takes 2nd place. Do you agree with this top pick? Yes? No? Or leave a comment down below and let me know what heist you would rather see occupying these 3 slots. And with that, the Payday 2 Heist Bracket Tournament came to a close. But before I end this video and journey, I want to give a very special shout out to you guys. Yes, you. You guys in the chat who turned up to the stream. To those who turned up at the end, or those who were there since the very beginning. I seriously thank every single one of you who participated in what turned out to be an incredibly fun event. Even if your favourite heist was voted out, you guys still contributed to what was an absolutely incredible stream. And it was an absolute blast from start to finish. Without the troops, I wouldn't be making this video today. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. And after all the amazing feedback I have received from you lot regarding the stream, I think it's safe to say I'm already cooking up the next one. But when you ask, be sure to keep an eye on my YouTube community page and my Twitter for when I will announce the next Payday related bracket tournament. I also want to give a quick shout out to Jumpy and Macedeus for their donations. It was incredibly generous of you. But I'm not done with the thank yous just there. One day I was playing Payday 3 with some of the boys and I noticed this fella popping into my chat. This individual goes by the name of Goose Love. Ever since he started joining my streams, he has been very generous throughout the past couple of streams on the channel, from the donations to the gifted memberships left, right and centre. So I wanted to dedicate this part of the video specifically to you. Thank you, Goose. I seriously appreciate your generosity and I do not take it for granted whatsoever. If you have received a membership off of Goose, please give him a thank you. Honks in chat. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the video is going to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, perhaps hit that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for anything and everything to do with Payday. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care everyone, and goodbye.